It's Saturday, September 20th. Recorded live from the English Valley's History Center, and here's Jackie.
Hello everyone. My name is Jackie Garinger McDermott, and we're recording live from the English Valley's History Center in North English, Iowa, September 20th, 2025. The first thing I'd like to show you is this packet that Joel Miller brought last week when he visited us. It's all about Glenn Sigafoos and airplanes. It's very interesting. And then I want to re-show what I showed the other day on my little test strip. This is a picture from the Farmers Savings Bank. This was during the centennial time. And these people from left are Betty Claypool, Pauline Humphrey, Mrs. Rex Hervey, Mary Alice Carter, Eva Wallace, Russell Ferris, Marie Cassidy, and Opal Wymore McNelly, who you might remember from the bank rob story. And then the person on the right, we don't know who that is yet. This diary was written by my great-great-aunt, Mary Elizabeth Claypool Wade, who was known as Libby Wade. She was 75 years old in July of 1950. And here's a picture of Aunt Lib. This is her son Wayne, or Perky Wade, with her great-granddaughter Suzanne Kurtz, and her granddaughter Evelyn Kurtz. So this would be a 4-generation picture. I will read and talk about a few days in the diary, and then switch to happenings around the History Center and feature stories. July 19th, 1950. It rained last night and is damp and hot today. I made some red raspberry and rhubarb juice ready for jelly. Made 1 glassful to try it. It tastes pretty good, so I'll make the rest of it up. Jenny came up to fit my new dress waist, the one they gave me for Mother's Day. It will be very nice. I talked to Carrie, and she had called the doctor at Sigourney. She said the x-ray didn't reveal any trouble in Mary's stomach. It's just holding her own. We heard that Rex Brown is very ill in the Iowa City Hospital with heart trouble. Jenny Butterbaugh Wade is Lib's daughter-in-law, married to her oldest son, Wayne or Perky Wade. Carrie Wade that she's talking about is Mrs. Henry Wade, and she has been chosen by her son, Dempsey Wade, to oversee the health of Mary Wade Regseger, as Mary has no other close family that lives nearby. Mary Wade Regseger is the younger person in this picture, and she's Lib's friend who lives down on East Oak Street, and she was raised in the Green Valley area east of town, where Lib taught as a young woman. And Rex Brown that they're talking about is in this picture. This is the 1909 baseball team, and he's up here on this top backside. Rex Brown is the brother of Mace Brown, the big league baseball player from North English, and the brother of Lena Warner from North English, who is Carolyn Warner Elwood's grandmother. His heart attack happened at the Marengo Bank, and he's been working for the county in Marengo in the past few years. Mary Newhouse was here in the PM. Lena came. She brought some yellow transparent apples. They are so good. We'll have some for supper. She said Harold Claypool is quitting the cream route, so Warren and Bus will do it themselves. He has another job, and they need someone to help. Mary Newhouse is another neighbor, and Lena that she's talking about is Lena Wallace Wade, who's married to Lib's second son, Warren or Mike Wade. Harold Claypool is the son of Lib's nephew, Leighton or Happy Claypool, and his wife Gertie, and he evidently shared a cream route with Warren or Mike Wade. That's Warren right there, who's Lib's second son, and Bus or Cleo Hall. This is Bus Hall right here in this picture, right there. After supper, Russell took the floral basket to Jack Ross and then went to Lila's for the laundry. $3 this time. A 2 weeks washing, though. He was then going out in the country. I listened to President Truman's speech. He is asking Congress for more money and men for Korean aid. A real war on, it sounds like. Russell Wade, who is Lib's youngest son, lives in the house with her and has a girlfriend named Mildred Reese who lives out in the country. Jack Ross is married to Marjorie Mahana, the daughter of the late Ross Mahana. Jack Ross is managing the funeral service since his father-in-law passed away. Dave Green had brought a basket of flowers to Lib from his grandmother's funeral, and the basket belonged to the funeral home. Lila Cobb is the mother of Lib's grandson by marriage, Glenn Cobb, and Lila is right here in this picture. Lila does the laundry for the Wades since Lib is no longer able to do so. And President Truman, here's a picture of him. July 20th, 1950, cloudy and cool. 59 degrees at 7:30 a.m. Report of a storm near Lima, Ohio during the night. Twisters. Russell cleaned out the range. Can make a fire if needed. I made red raspberry jelly. Prepared the juice yesterday and added about 3 cups of rhubarb juice and Sure Gel. It is very nice. Also cooked the apples Lena brought. I'd can some if I had them here. They are so good and good for me. Maud was here a while, had work to do so didn't stay long. Told me about Mrs. Green's funeral, who her relatives were there, etc. I heard on the radio that Bill Ely was kicked by a horse and died. He went to school here 2 or 3 years ago. Was in Phyllis's class, I think. Maud Claypool is Lib's friend and is married to her nephew Ray Claypool, the son of her late brother Verner Claypool. Bill Ely, that was killed, was 21 years old and a 1947 graduate of North English High School. He was kicked by a horse and that crushed his chest. The incident happened on his mother's farm at North Liberty. Phyllis Wade, in this picture, is Lib's granddaughter, the daughter of Warner Mike Wade and his wife Lena. Phyllis will soon be 19 years old and was in the class of 1949, so she was 2 years younger than Bill. Mrs. Bolts was here, brought a few red raspberries. I gave her some applesauce. I wiped off the kitchen floor, used Perfex in the water. It helps a lot. Lizzie Geiger Bolts is Lib's neighbor who is 87 years old. Saw in the record about Cordy Dusenberry's death. She was 79, died in a nursing home in Sigourney. Cordy Dusenberry, story is right here. It was the daughter of Rachel Tennessee Blair, who lived east of town earlier in her life. Russell went uptown. He was talking to Keith McKinstry. He has just recently been discharged from the service in Japan, has been home a week or so. Someone came to ask where Popams live. They had some article of furniture, an Iowa City transfer truck. Keith McKinstry was the grandson of Lib's friend Verdi McKinstry, and Lib has not mentioned Verdi at all this summer. I think Verdi's health is bad, but she is still living. July 21st, 1950. Much nicer today. It's cool this morning, but the sun is shining and the wind is not so cold. Jenny brought my dress up that she made. I'll put the hem in it. It is the one they gave me for Mother's Day. Black and white bunting. She and Frida are going to Pekin for red raspberries and are to have dinner with Frida's mother at Hedrick. It is her birthday. Frida McCreary Wade is Jenny's daughter-in-law, married to her son Walter or Bud Wade. I talked to Mrs. Halls. She said Mary is better and Carrie and Eliza are to go home today. Edith Halls is another neighbor. Carrie Wade and Eliza Regseger, who's right here in this picture, have been staying with Mary Regseger, who has been very ill. So Eliza's right there, and then Mary R. is right there with her husband, late husband Fred. July 22nd, 1950. Still cool and partly cloudy. I didn't feel very well this morning, but had work to do, so got to feeling better. Did the usual morning work. Made fish bait as per order, and then worked on the hem of my new dress. Mary Ann was in, also Mrs. Bolts and Jenny. Mary heard that Mary Regseger is better. Expected to come home before long. Mrs. Bolts said Maud and Ray have a new gas range, 2 ovens, etc. Very nice. She brought me some turnips. Jenny brought an apple pie. It was just right, warm yet at dinner time. Russell didn't eat any of it. Maybe it pays to be cautious. Tracy came. She got home yesterday from Missouri. Her brother is 83 and he is bad off. Paralysis. She came on the bus. John and Bertha and Marvin came home last Sunday. I finished my dress. Mary Ann and Mrs. Trace McDonald stopped in. Tracy Wallace is my paternal great-grandmother. John Geringer, who is my grandfather, right here in the picture, is her son, and he's married to Bertha Claypool Geringer, who is Lib's niece. They and their son Marvin also went to Putnam County, Missouri, to find out about the health of Tracy's brother. Mary Newhouse and Mrs. Trace McDonald, who is Wade McDonald's mother, are both Catholics. Trace, that's T-R-E-S, and they said it Trace, will soon be the housekeeper for Father Dugan at the Catholic Church Rectory on Boland Avenue. Jenny brought up the chickens. 2 I ordered from Mrs. Claude Johnson, a neighbor of Hazel's. They are dressed and ready to cook. We were to pay $1 each and 25 cents for dressing, but these were not quite so large, and she only wanted $1 each dressed. Very reasonable, it seems to me. I think that the Mrs. Claude Johnson that is Hazel's neighbor could very well be my maternal great-aunt Catherine, who was Mrs. Cloyd Johnston. She lived near Hazel, west of town, in the White Pigeon area. Another funeral here tomorrow for a Mr. Hoyt. I heard he was a brother-in-law of Mrs. Green, whose funeral was last Monday. Mrs. Bauer is staying with Mrs. Cunningham. Her nurse has gone home. Anna Bauer is Lib's neighbor to the direct south, and Mrs. Cunningham is another neighbor. July 23rd, 1950. Warmer and some clouds this morning. Russell and Harold Bucher started about 4 to go fishing again. Jack Ross called. He wanted Russell to be a pallbearer this p.m. for this Mr. Hoyt. Jenny stopped in, had been to the locker. She left a plaid shirt here she found on the street. The owner can have it if he calls for it. They are going down to Marie's today. We'll bring them up. It's been a long time since they have been to visit them. Marie Butterbob Bringman is Jenny's sister. They live in the Wellman area, and some of her children were later known as Mrs. Ruth Herr from Sigourney and Josh Bringman from Kinross that I knew, and several others. I went out in the yard. The west way is easier. Was glad to find out we still have a little bunch of bergamot, the red-flowered mint that came from the Cray place. I thought it was all gone, and I've always liked it so much. I looked it up, and bergamot is a yellow citrus fruit that grows predominantly in Italy. Possibly Anna found some in Texas. Currently, it is used in essential oils. Libby likes all kinds of plants and flowers. Evelyn and Kathy came up and helped me back in the house. Evelyn had gone down for Marie and the children. Russell got some nice fish, 2 carp and 1 cat. He cleaned them, ate some supper, and slept a while, then went to bring Mildred into church. I read until I got tired, and then wrote to Anna and went to bed. Evelyn Wade Kurtz is Wayne and Jenny's daughter, and Kathy Kurtz is her daughter. Mildred Reese is Russell's longtime girlfriend who lives in the country west of town. And Anna Cray is Lib's only daughter, and she lives in Texas. July 24th, 1950. Nice morning to work. I prepared things for dinner. Baked fish, turnips, and potatoes will be our fare today. Flossie stopped in. Glad she is feeling better. Her face is cleared up from that allergy rash. Went through the clinic in Iowa City and they told her not to use soap of any kind. We'll find out more from their report. Alice Vanaken stopped in for news. I didn't know any. Flossie Claypool West is the granddaughter of Lib's cousin Wallace Claypool. She lives in an apartment across the street with her daughter Barbara. After dinner and dishes washed, I had company. Mary Ann came and then went on uptown. Wanted to get some shoes repaired. And then Maud came. She said that Roy's took Elna to Homestead, where she left for Washington, D.C., back to her work in the service. Marion rode along, then went to the show when they came back home. She must be pretty good again. Maud is reporting that Roy and Gail Claypool, who are right here, took their daughter Elna, who is this one, to Homestead to catch a train east so that she can rejoin the service on the East Coast where she is stationed. Her sister Marion, who's right here in the picture, has been very ill, and she was able to ride along and then go to the movies when she got back to North English. Elsie Miller came. Her Aunt Mary Bear, aged 92, is not quite so well, but able to be up. Jenny came in the evening, and then Hattie. They both stayed until rather late, around 10. Then I washed the supper dishes and went to bed. Elsie Miller is an old neighbor from the Green Valley area, and Hattie Newberry Killian is a neighbor who lives over on Boland Avenue. Russell attended a meeting of the Civic Club. They are making plans for the Creamery picnic. Russell went to Cedar Rapids in the PM, and Bruce and Walter went to Crawfordsville for supplies for the Home Lumber Company. Russell works for the Home Lumber Company driving a truck, and Bruce Warner is the manager of the Home Lumber Company. July 25th, 1950. Cloudy but pleasant. I did my work, rearranged the flowers. They have lasted well. A week yesterday since David Green brought them. Some are nice yet, but had to throw some away. I cooked a chicken, had it in the refrigerator for a few days. I talked to Ethel. She said Carrie is no better. She said Carrie said Mary is no better. Her face is swollen and she don't eat. They tried to feed her through the veins, but not with not much success. She refused to even drink water yesterday. Too bad. Mrs. Lockridge and her sister, Mrs. Emma Simmons, age 85, came as we finished dinner. They had eaten up at town at the cafe, the guests of Mrs. Bell King. Ethel Lockridge McCarter is a young friend whose husband Max works for Lib's son, Wayner Perky Wade, in his trucking business. Mary Newhouse was in this AM, took a letter for me, and bought some stamps. I sent for the salad section of Edith Hanson's Growing Cookbook. Mrs. Trace McDonald stopped for a few minutes. I gave her a slip of sultana. Sultana is another name for impatience, a colorful flower. Mary was here again in the PM, brought me an ice cream cone. I read a while, then got supper. Hattie came in a while, then went to lodge, initiation tonight. Lib lives directly behind the locker building, where Mary Newhouse likely got the ice cream cone. And Hattie belongs to lodge, which meets in the upstairs of that same building. And here is a list of all who were officers in the Rebecca Lodge in this year of 1950. The Noble Grand was Agatha Lucina. The Vice Grand was Neva Cray. The Secretary was Elva Nyman. The Treasurer was Edith Halls. The Warden was Ruth McCarter. The Conductor was Pauline Reed. The OG was Dorothy Blount. And an OG was Doris Wade. Jean Mullen. Margaret Thurman. Mary Mason. Hazel Strasser. The Chaplain was Gertrude Fobert. The musician was Neva Cheney. And the past Noble Grand was Fern Holden. Russell went to Williamsburg, I think. He went out to Hank and Mary's while Mildred was with her group. Flossie's sister, Mary Claypool Williams, is married to Henry Williams Jr., and they live in Williamsburg. Russell would have been related to them, so he went to visit them while Mildred was busy. And that's the end of the diary portion for today. The English Valley History Center has been operating on Main Street in North English since 2006. The center operates a museum, monthly programming, a community coffee shop, and provides meeting spaces for groups and organizations. These include family and class reunions, celebrations, gatherings, and club meetings. The History Center offers all of its services by donation only. It does not have annual memberships like many other historical organizations and relies largely on private and community donations. It is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and donations are tax deductible. Your support of the History Center would help continue its operations and provide a valuable community asset. Please send donations to the English Valley History Center, P.O. Box 70, North English, Iowa 52316. This is a reminder that the next alumni luncheon group will meet at 11:30 a.m. at the Main Street Pub and Grub in North English on Monday, October 27th. Please contact Linda Holden Carter or Alice Floring Stramer for reservations. The next program is on Willard Veely, the grandson of John Deere. We have a sign on a building downtown that says Deely Buggies. The program is tomorrow at 2 at the History Center. Our person of the week this week is Ellen Gerard. Carl Hogendorn said it best in 1986. We select this week 2 persons who have a lifetime of doing without thought of glory or credit. Grand Guy, Liesl Miller, and Grand Gal, Ellen Gerard. Ellen Mary O'Brien was born in 1922 to Susie Healy O'Brien and John O'Brien. She married Raymond Gregan in 1947, and they had 3 children, John, Mary, and Tom Gregan, before Raymond passed away in 1951. Ellen then married William or Bill Gerard in 1956 and became the mother of Patty, Lois, Pauline, Bill, Les, and David Gerard. Bill Gerard passed away in 1977, and Ellen lived to be 95 years old and was a widow for many years. She raised her children in the Catholic faith and spent lots of time cleaning, babysitting, and carrying newspapers for the Cedar Rapids Gazette. She was devoted to her family and serving the Lord. And one of the biggest things she installed in her children and grandchildren was a love of family. Each year, her children and grandchildren still come from around the United States to visit North English during fun days and see their family. I look forward to seeing them and visiting with them when they arrive in town. And here's a picture of Ellen with her birth family, the O'Briens. She is right here on this side. And here's a picture of Ellen from the North English 150 yearbook. It's right there on top. This picture was taken when Ellen was 82. Still going strong. Ellen Gerard has been delivering the Cedar Rapids Gazette since 1979. She gets up every morning at 1 a.m. and has all of her papers delivered by 5 a.m. She is proud of her 9 children. And here's a picture of Ellen on a float in 2017. The grandkids were all in the parade that year too. And here's another picture of Ellen's 95th. And here's a picture of the grandkids. And you can't see it because I don't have a color printer, but they're all in green. And they're called Team Ellen. And the green shirts are because they're Irish. And this is when the grandkids organized the softball team. Correspondence. Kathy Kurtz Rogers, who is Lib's great-granddaughter, has been digging in their family pictures. She has unearthed a picture of the Boy Scouts in North English that I will use when I do my story on the history of Boy Scouts in North English. She also found this one of her grandma, Jenny Butterball Wade, who is right here. And as you remember, Jenny is the wife of Lib's son, Wayner Perky Wade. And then this is her sister, Ruth Butterbaugh Ott. And Kathy also has this new picture of Lib to share. This is from 1943 with her oldest son, Wayner Perky Wade, his daughter, Evelyn Wade Kurtz, and oldest daughters, Suzanne or Sue. This was taken in front of Perky and Jenny's house on East Clark Street. And Jigger Geiger's house is also showing next door. This one here is Belva Wade Yoss and her sister Evelyn Wade Kurtz when they were very young. And in this next one, we have Harold or Stub Wade and his sister Hazel Wade Cobb. And in this one we have Hazel Wade and a very young Suzanne Kurtz and Belva Wade Yoss. And you might have noticed her took a lot of pictures of Sue because she was the first great grandchild. And here is Suzanne Kurtz with her grandfather Wayne Wade. More correspondence. Connie Brubaker said, "Thank you, Jackie. It was nice to hear comments on Uncle Robert. And I heard from my cousins, Jan Geringer Fick from Cedar Rapids and Paul and Chris Geringer from Williamsburg. I really enjoyed hearing about the Geringer boys." Mark Claypool from Sigourney said, "Jackie, outstanding today. When you hear names that trigger a memory, it does make one want to roll back time to a gentler time in our lives." And I heard from Cindy Weber from Kyoto. She said that she would watch my podcast later in the day. It's the highlight of our week. Thank you, Cindy. That really means a lot to me. Also on the story on Jeanette Doherty Nadley from the class of 1949, I forgot to mention that Jeanette was born in the North English telephone office on September 19th, 1931. And her mother, Daisy Doherty, who's right here in this picture, was one of the operators at the telephone company, and her father, Horace or Harry Doherty, was the manager. Our sympathy this week to the family of Sandy Baird Seavey. She was in the class of, and I'm on the wrong page now. She's right here. Our condolences to the family of Sandy Seavey Baird, who attended English Valley schools. We are also interested in learning about historical English Valley's items that you might wish to donate to the History Center. Please contact Jave Jackson, Scott Romine, or any board member to donate. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
And that's a wrap. Thanks, Jackie.